the pressure of me obviously put him under pressure, and whoop, you can't park there, son. We're about to get underway at round 5 of the National Cyclocross Trophy in Skipton, and this was my first time racing in these conditions. It was icy, it was slippy, and I thought I was going to come away from this race and I was going to be nicknamed the Iceman, but that is definitely not the case. I am 100% nicknamed Bambi on ice because I had a shocker, and we're just getting lined up ready to absolutely ping it, and then we are off, and it was full send, and I did not commit. Look how many people are coming past me on the start. I'm moving backwards. I've got to admit, I did not have the confidence in the ice, and coming into this first corner, look, everyone foot out, foot out. It doesn't do it justice, the camera, but it was slippy as, and you have to commit on that start line. You have to just go for it, and you need to be trying to move up. I've said it in previous videos, and I didn't have the confidence to attack it like I should have been. If you don't commit and you're not trying to move up, you are moving backwards, and I was moving backwards, and the amount of spaces I lost on that first little stretch was ridiculous. And the problem is, sorry about the lens, I tried to keep it as dry as possible, but it rained in the race as well. And the problem was, if you don't get a start, you're going to see in a minute the bottleneck of all bottlenecks coming into just after the start finish. But you can see that mud layer on top is ice. It's like an ice ring. This was slippy carnage, and it was my worst nightmare, to be honest. So coming down here, we're just going to loop round this little tarmac section into the start, well, the finish straight area, and then we're going to go up onto the grass section, and that is where it's carnage. Look, people are coming past me. I was not committing, but if there's one thing the British people love, it is a queue, and you are about to see the queue of all queues. So we come up this little section here, and look at all the people top right of the camera. Carnage. Look at this. And there was just nowhere to go, and people are trying to shove through, and there was just no need for it. In front of me, the lad in the red tops got his dancing shoes on. I thought he was trying to do the moonwalk. Look at that. I thought he was on Dancing on Ice, slipping all over the place. But that was just carnage. The amount of time you lose there is ridiculous. Like the front of the race, goodbye, they have gone. And even this section here, people are like trying to lift their bikes over the wooden stakes. There was just nowhere to go. I'm like trying to go around the outside, but I'm as bad as matey in the red jumper back there, dancing on ice, slippy shoes. But it would look, that is just pure sheet ice, and I'm way back now. I am so far back, and the worst thing is, I knew that I was going to struggle on this course as it was. I knew I needed a good start, because when I went in the practice lap, look at this off-camber section here. People are just like, what is going on? Foot out. And to be honest, I was surprised that I'd stayed on 2 wheels during this race. But you can see, look at Nick Craig. He just makes it look effortless. He's the one in the yellow jersey there. The man's got techers, and I do not have techers. Look, I'm like going around here foot out. I should have been, if you watch that last bit back there, like Nick Craig's getting on the grass, getting the power down and shifting. Like, I had the legs to go with these boys and stay with them at this point. But the problem was, my line choices were shocking, like that there. And I was on the slippy section here. Look how slow. He's put like 2 bike lengths into me there because I couldn't get round the corners. It was shocking. I'm Bambi on ice. Do not call me the Iceman. And then that was the problem. I was feeling good, like punching out of the corners, strong, strong, strong. But I was just losing, look, round these corners, I was just losing so much time because, one, I was scared to fall off, because normally in cross, you fall off, you get a nice soft landing. When you're falling off on ice, you don't. And the problem is, I was giving up places like here, this guy comes past, and I was just letting places go too easily, losing the wheel in front. And you cannot afford to do this at this level. You've got to fully commit to the race, commit to every corner, and you've got to get your elbows out. I've said it before, on that start line, I didn't get my elbows out. I wasn't trying to move up, and I've moved way back now. You can see on the left, like, guys are coming through already. They are miles in front. It's a different race. And the problem was, even on these straight sections, I was slowing down because I was worried about these corners, and it's something I need to work on. I've always said my skills need to improve. They've definitely got better. Well, I personally think they've got better, but they are still bleak. And the first time in the ice, I know a few others have messaged saying they raced in the ice the other week and struggled, and it blew my mind. The boys at the front still put the power down, and these steps, I was absolutely awful at these as well. I was like, front wheel, back wheel, front wheel, back wheel. The front boys, when you watch them, they just ping over it. But like coming up here, I still had the legs to go with the people in front, and I was like, maybe I can dig in, but there's only so many times you can close the gap down. Sorry about the footage here. I think I do clean the camera in a second. But look, just these little bits here, absolutely shocking from me. I could not get around these corners. You can see Josh Jones just ahead, dismounted there. It's probably the right, but look how much time he puts into me there, because I slip out, I don't get the power down, and then I'm using my energy to bridge that gap again and shut it down. And look, same again. 2 bike lengths lost, and then I'm trying to shut it down. And round this corner, I was absolute shambles. Look at me. Look how many bike lengths I lost there. Oh, God, that is embarrassing. Bambi on ice. And then you got to shut it down. And then what an awful line there. Jesus, I've got some work to do. But in all honesty, towards the end of the race, I was trying different lines. I was trying everything. I just could not get it. My brain just wouldn't let me go any faster. The annoying thing was, I felt like I had the legs on the flat sections. Like, look at this line I take here. I've come wide into this rut. Look how many bike lengths they put into me there. And then yet again, I've lost another place for a poor line choice, and then I'm sprinting back on. It's embarrassing to watch. It is shocking techers. And then same again here. Where are you going, son? You're going off the track. Absolute cornering like a numpty. If Dad was watching this, he'd have been like, get your stabilisers off. But I needed the stabilisers on to stay on 2 wheels because it was too slippy. But like I said, there's only so many times I can shut that gap down. These guys are as fit, or they are fitter than me. I'm not going to lie. I am clinging on most of the time when I do these races. I imagine they're suffering as well, but you can see as soon as that gap goes, it is so hard to shut it down. So you can't afford to let the wheel go like that. And down here, I was terrible. Look how slow I go into this next corner. Because it was slippy and I was an absolute fairy going around the corners. I just did not have the bottle. But this is all a learning curve. This is the first time I've raced in these conditions, and even when the pros raced in the snow, you'd think Van der Poel would boss it because he's an absolute beast, but he didn't win in the snow, so maybe that's my excuse. We're both not icy athletes, but you can see I'm just dangling off the back, and on the straight sections, normally I'd get dropped, but I was actually like holding the distance and sometimes shutting the gaps. It was these corners. Look, terrible corner, slipped out, next line, terrible. And I'm losing probably 2 seconds a corner, and you know what they say, 40, that's an exaggeration, I'm losing a second a corner. But anyway, then this Hope guy comes round me. I'm like, look, just jump on his wheels, cling on. But look, I'm losing a bike length there. Then I try and chop him up the inside. I have no idea why I'm doing that, but the pressure of me obviously put him under pressure, and whoop, you can't park there, son. But he does come back to beat me. But that is how slippy it was. You get it a little bit wrong. It was like watching a cartoon when people were going down. Like, you were just sliding all over the place like dancing shoes on the first corner, slipping. It was like a cartoon show. But honestly, I'm embarrassed by my cornering skills, and if I want to compete with, well, not compete with the front of this race, because I know that's not achievable for me, but firstly, if I want to be able to finish these races like I did at Torbay, maybe I just need to take up running, because that's a running race. But if I want to finish these races, I need to improve my skills. I've said it time and time again, and this really highlighted it. When I watched the footage Sarah got of the boys at the front, they are point, shoot, commit, round the corner, and it blew my mind how fast they're doing it. Look how slow I am around this corner. But anyway, little stair dismount here, and this next section was a slippy as off camber, and it was tricky. And you can see from the guy in front, I was no better than him. I was literally just scooting along like that, trying to not deck it, like a couple of choppers scooting along. But in honesty, my head completely went at this point, because I could just see the people in front moving away, and I could see the guys that were leading the race were so far ahead, and I just got into my own head and I was like, this is it. I'm not fast enough today. I'm not quick enough around this course. And my head just went. I wasn't moving up, and I ended up just in no man's land, really. Like, I was holding the wheel here, but look how terribly I take this corner. It's so slow and embarrassing. But that is the full first lap. And unfortunately, the rest of the race isn't that exciting. So I'm going to jump to some bits here. I mean, I did get a little bit better. I mean, I got chopped there through another terrible corner. I did get a little bit better. You can see this bit is actually rideable this time, and we haven't got a queue like we're at the canteen again. But I tried all sorts. I tried different lines. I tried everything. Look, down here we were riding this time. I think I was faster when I run that section last time. But you can seriously see how slippy these off-cambers are. Look, we're just like shuffling along. Absolute chopper central. And you can only imagine if these boys are doing it, how I'm doing it. And look how much I got dropped by there, because I was scooting along like a chopper. And that is exactly my point. You can't afford to let that much of a wheel go on a technical section, not even a power section. You're not even really pedaling at that point, and I've been dropped, and then I'm trying to shut the gap down. But as I said, it wasn't that exciting from here. I ended up in no man's land. I tried not to quit. I gave it everything I had on the day, but you can see my heart rate's not even really at max, because even like coming around these corners, the problem was I couldn't go fast enough round them to get my heart rate up to feel like I was killing myself. Look, 165, you can see the group of riders just in front, but every lap, you know, when you can just see them pulling away, and I just didn't have it. Look, I even tried a different line here. That didn't work. It was just a slow shuffling round the top, and all in all, it ended up being a super disappointing race for me. But it's highlighted yet again that I need to get some techers, get some skills, and probably some bottle as well. Look, you can see there, slipped out. Look how slow I'm going. You granddad, get a move on. But this is the last little bits of footage. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the end of the race. I got pulled after 45 minutes. Look at this line here, shocking. I'm facing the wrong way because I've slipped out. Embarrassing. But it's a learning curve. I can take a lot from this and hopefully try and get a little bit quicker next time and get better in these conditions. Look how slow I was going, nearly fell off. But you can't park there, George. But thanks to everyone that cheered me on as I went round. I didn't perform how I wanted to, and it was disappointing, but I got pulled after 45 minutes, and it is on to the next one and hopefully a better performance next time.